Welcome to the listening music studio portion here at Assembly 2012. Some of you may know who I am, some of you may not. And so I know absolutely nothing about music, right? So I brought some seasoned friends from the scene music world, so I'd like to introduce my guests. Response of Darklight.
Hi.
Man of many words. And Menace of Spaceballs and Accession.
Not least, Accession.
Welcome. And of course, our lovely friend Zippoid from the Scene Sat.
Yes, hello.
Welcome, friends. So, we are here to talk about the listening music competition held here at Assembly. So, I think what we should do here is run through the entries and talk a little about them, and also talk a little bit about how the music competitions were changed this year for Assembly. So, if you could, do you have any favorites here in the music compos? Did you like something?
Yeah, I have my favorites, but thing is that I got stuck in traffic, so I arrived at entry number 5. I guess we'll come to entry number 5 eventually. The thing that I like here is that you split the compo into 2 compos because it's demo scene music. It's a lot more than just demo scene music. It's really important that you actually try to do that, and then you get to play a lot more entries than you usually did.
Yeah.
So
Have a little bit more styles because
yeah.
usually in any music competition, when you have a stream music competition, there's gonna be stuff that people could dance to. And
Yeah.
It's gonna have stuff that people actually want to listen to.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Menace, I think you had some favorites there in the compo.
I did, I had several. I really liked the diversity this year. A lot of different styles, some dub, some metal, some Pirates of the Caribbean music.
Oh yeah, the pirate music was good.
I think it's hard for me to set one favorite. I liked several tracks. I think there are like 4 or 5 that are going to be head-to-head for number 1.
Yes, excellent. And Zippoid.
Well, I must touch the pirate subject as well, because it was a nice touch with even a yar at some point. So that's a beautiful. It was nice composition and everything. Overall, my feeling was some of them were quite uneventful. They were quite bland to a certain point, but most of them were pretty good, well produced. I especially like the fact that one of the tracks had vocals, even with growling and everything.
Yeah.
That could have been a bit more produced, in my opinion. But overall, nice, diverse style, both some upbeat and some laid-back stuff. So it was a good move into this. And I completely see the differentiation between the dance music compo yesterday and the listening music today.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it was a good choice to do this.
Yes, and the compos have changed, and we'll come back to that a bit
Yep.
later on. You mentioned the one with the vocals, which was entry 10, the Loyal Lantern stage,
Yeah.
and it was really kind of the production value on it was very good.
Yeah.
It might be done in someone's bedroom. It might be done in a studio.
I hope not in the bedroom, because what I noted was I loved the song, but the voice in the solo singing was too noisy. I hope that's not a bedroom thing. But still, it's an excellent track.
Yeah.
Good music.
So
Good stuff.
noises from the bedroom then.
Yeah.
And there were, I'd like to myself point out that the entry number 6, we were talking about that when it was being played. It was the New York City Ninjas Cowboys.
That one.
Yeah, we were talking about that when we were listening to it. It sounded like a theme song from an 80s action show.
Yeah, it's like MASH, story, MacGyver.
Yeah.
I actually had the same comments on my end. So yeah.
I just felt like I was listening to rock and roll. The one thing I missed at that track, the only thing I missed at that track, was a serious build-up.
Yeah.
It was like boom.
Yeah, so
It started with a boom, and it just like
I
had a boom.
really liked the piano stuff at the
Oh, yeah.
beginning, and then that drowned out throughout the song when it went to more of an 80s synth
Yeah.
TV thing.
Yeah.
There could have been more piano
Oh yeah.
for my liking.
yeah.
The only bad
agree.
bit about that, in my opinion, was you didn't really know if the lead was a sax, a violin, or some sort of weird synth, because it wanted to play as a saxophone at points, but then it sounded like a violin, and then just overall nothing.
Okay, so I thought it was a guitar. But
Yeah, I was actually up in the scene set booth listening to it in headphones, so it made quite a bit of difference.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Talking about sax, there was the entry number 5, which was the Just Words. It was kind of, to me, it was kind of like a drum and beat-ish kind of beat going on throughout the song.
Yeah.
And there was some discussion that, is that sax real? What do you think, Zabed?
It felt quite real actually when listening to it. So when listening closer to it, it didn't happen that much in the song. It was quite uneventful, but it was still had a jazzy feeling, and that little sax touched it pretty okay.
I think that's that saxophone. That's real.
Yeah, it sounded
I
like
think
that.
there were some comments that it was a little even for
Yeah.
saxophone.
Yeah.
A real saxophone would be more.
It might have been sampled bad because I
Well,
think it
of
was
course,
real
it could have been
saxophone.
post-processing or whatever that made it like that, but.
Because the saxophone itself was mentioned on the slide itself as a
instrument,
platform
yeah.
or a technique used. And I was listening to the saxophone. It sounded a bit too perfect to be real for me, because a real person blowing on it, it's going to have some fluctuations on the sound. But I have been wrong before, plenty of times. So
It could have been tweaked. And
I'm not going to put my foot down on it.
Oh, it was real.
Okay, we'll settle on plausible.
Yeah. It's not busted, anyways.
No, it's not. Definitely not busted. And overall, we saw some very much different kind of musical styles. Obviously, the competition itself was organized so that the more easygoing tracks were at the beginning, whereas towards the end of the competition, it gets more alive in a sense. So, how do you feel about the ordering of the playlist in that sense? Is it good to have the slower tracks in the beginning and?
I think that is like something that every comp organizer thinks a lot about, how to find the perfect build-up, and I thought it was pretty good. If I have one objection, it's that the 2 pirate-themed tracks were huddled together at the end.
Yes, I second that also.
So that was like 2 very similar tracks. But apart from that, I thought the selection was pretty good.
Yeah, so it's the entries 11 and 12, the pirate tracks, which seem to have a home here at the Assembly music competitions. Because I remember from last year's, there is not a music compo without the pirate theme. So I guess we'll be seeing those in the future. There was also a lot of tracks which included heavy metal guitars, and in that sense, which have not been played that much in the compos in the latter years, but apparently this was the guitar year then. So in general, unless someone has something to add to the entries themselves, point out a favorite maybe?
Well, I mean, I must say that the first track actually, I did like the guitar plucking, very nice and balanced and laid-back feeling overall, and that's definitely a track that I could use in one of my Cozy Corner smooth shows that I do on
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That felt very well produced as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Probably did. I was stuck in traffic. But
And also the pirate track was one of my favorites, definitely. The Alloy, no, that was the Pirate in Good Spirits.
yes, because there was 2 pirate tracks here.
Yeah.
Number 11 rocked, and number 12 might have rocked a bit more if it weren't like coming up straight after the other one.
Yeah.
It was also good, but not as good as number 11, to Pirate in the Good Spirits.
Yeah, while we were listening to these
It
tracks,
felt like a combination of Punctured of Nuke and Monkey Island and some Irish drunken fiddler dude.
Floating Molly without the metal.
Yes, that's the word. Yes.
And the drums were a bit thin on that
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah, it might have been. You heard it with the
yeah, with the headphones, it
headset,
made
yeah.
a big difference. So.
Big difference.
One thing that was also pointed out when we were listening this to they were listening to the compo, and Truck was there, and Truck pointed out that pretty much a big portion of the songs in this competition sounds like it would be game music in a sense.
Yeah, it was especially that final level tune that I really liked. It had very much a game vibe. It felt like the soundtrack to Shoot 'em Up from the 90s.
Yes.
I could really see myself being in an arcade and that playing in the background while I was killing aliens.
Yeah, it was the one with the very catchy kind of tune there going.
Very Maiden-esque leads there, actually. But it was a bit too slow to actually be the final level, because if you play a Japanese shooter from the 90s, the final level would be it would be extreme. So it was, but still, yeah, it should
like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
It was. I remember from that song when the jury was listening to the entries that pretty much all of the jury were slightly nodding their heads when they were listening to that. But that was a keeper.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things were changed for the assembly this year in the music compos, in a sense that the extreme music competition was dropped out. And pretty much it got replaced with the dance music competitions, and all the music competitions are now platform free. So this is kind of experimental this year here at Assembly, that how does this solution work. And I unfortunately missed the dance music compo because of the doing my organizer duties for the listening music competition. So I was wondering if Ziphoid, you could briefly tell us how did you feel about the dance music competition?
I must honestly say that I was kind of disappointed with the dance music compo, because it really didn't bring out that much from the tracks. Most of the tracks were kind of not happening anything. It was basic layout of the tracks. There were some exceptions, of course. I don't remember the numbers of them now, but there were some exceptions that were pretty well produced. But overall, I think that many people just went for, let's see if we can flirt with the audience a bit, but they didn't extend it as much as I would have liked them to, because there was nothing that really stood out. Just a few entries with some interesting choices like harmonicas and all that sort of different instruments style, which, but overall it was. I can't really say that I remember the compo very well, because it didn't stand out.
Okay, so
and it wasn't the usual. To name it a dance music compo, I would have expected a bit more really dance clubby sounds, which it didn't really have. Just a few of the tracks were nudging it. But
you want the more like the more underground feeling for the music?
Yeah.
Not the commercial stuff?
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yep.
But given that this is the first year at Assembly when the music compos are like, perhaps it's still looking its form and settling down.
I have a question about this. You just said that it was open for all platforms now.
Yes.
Did you guys actually see something else than PC or Mac-made music?
Actually, there was a tracker
486
entry in the listening music. It was the I'll have to cheat sheet on this. It was the entry number 3, which you missed because you were in traffic.
Yeah.
That was the tracked one?
Yeah, that was the Milky Tracker one.
Oh.
Yes. And
excellent.
And there was a C64 track in the dance music compo, if I recall it. I cannot say who it was from, but let's just say that a known C64 musician. And
excellent.
There was an impulse tracker as well on the dance combo.
Yes.
So the changes you made actually work, because now you see C64 coming in, now you see trackers coming back in.
Well,
maybe this is going from a straightforward thing, going back to a more demo scene-ish thing.
That might be the case, yes, because before in the past, Assembly has seen in the extreme music compo a lot of C64 stuff, and of course these custom synthesizers for the 4K, 64K stuff. And there was some Nintendo Entertainment System songs pretty much all of those are now gone, or people just didn't mention them.
Yes, of course.
When I was scrolling down the entries, pretty much everyone was Renoise, Reason, Fruity Loops,
Yeah.
one Orion, obviously. But
Yeah, somebody still uses that
Yes.
software.
That guy, he should really change his sound set, but otherwise it's a nice production.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know the guy that well, so.
Ah, that's true.
So, but in any case, the Extreme Music, we did have the C64 entries, and I think the C64 entry was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
I just overheard it a little, but it was very clever.
That was one of the ones that actually stood out a bit.
Yes.
So yes.
So it just goes to show that even though you're competing with the C64 track against all the latest, newest, whatever you can think of kind of stuff, and you still can make it in a compo. It's the value is on the content itself.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes. The platform doesn't really matter that much if you can actually make some good, happy music on it.
Yeah.
So,
If you listen to some music and oh, this makes me feel happy, then
That's good.
the composer actually,
yeah.
made it.
So
Are we like going to say like our top 3 or something?
you can mention your top songs if you have some.
Yeah, because then again I have the problem with the traffic. So maybe you should start. We haven't been talking about the last track though.
I
Yes,
really like that one.
Yeah,
it was kind of.
sounded familiar.
Yeah, I have a vague idea whose track that is, actually. But
Yeah, but you can cheat, so that doesn't count.
yes. Well, the last track was obviously.
I think I was making a comment that it was sort of similar to A-Music's Leads. The way it has like a floating melody and
Yeah, it was kind of.
the drums sort of gave away who it was, I think.
Yes, well, there are signature drums with certain musicians in the demo
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Well, signature sound sets and production, of course.
Yes, of
and
course.
I do
The
must say that the
fingerprints.
guitars in the final one was really well produced, which they usually are from that certain possible musician.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thing is that he makes good music, but as a person,
Yeah, you don't know. But overall, I wonder how many of the guitar-based tracks that actually used real guitars and not sampled ones. I think that the first track did, because the plucking was really, it sounded quite very well played, for
Yes.
instance. But I don't think that too many of the other ones actually used real guitars, but used more of a guitar synth VSCI or something like that. Because
Would you have any insight to whether the last track did?
The last track, well, judging by listening to the guitars, they were obviously real. But there was also the entry number 10, Aloe Lantern Stage, definitely real guitars there.
yeah.
There's no question about that.
No.
And even the drums actually sounded like they were real drums, although with modern drum synthesizers you can do miracles.
I mean, that also sounded more like actually a band that was doing this, the Aloe Lantern,
Yes.
with the vocals, with the growling, with
Yes.
sort of a concept band.
It kind of reminded me of this Swedish band, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it.
Dead by
I
April.
was thinking
Dead by April, that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Or Dead by a Pill, as my sister heard it. So.
Okay. So we're starting to run out of time here.
Yeah.
So if you can say one or two favorites from the compo, starting with you, Response.
it's hard. Since I was stuck in traffic again.
This one time in
This
traffic.
one time in the traffic. Arcane, if you're watching now, I know what your t-shirt's all about.
We need to really speed this up now.
Okay. So I go with number 8 and number 13.
Number 8 and number 13, which
Yes.
are the Strangers with My Face.
Yes.
And number 13, the metal
Take
track.
Me to Hell, yes.
And Menace.
I don't have a cheat sheet, so I'm just gonna. I can borrow yours. That
And
works.
when you study Zipoid, please.
Yeah, for starters, I did like the Pirate in Good Spirits, as well as the Turn Off the Wrongly Spelled Gauges, Gauges, number 1. as well as a little bonus for the New York City Ninja Cowboys
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say the New York Ninja Cowboy thing was very fun. And I also liked number 10, the Dead by April track.
So this is all the time we have for you right now. So I'd like to thank my guests and thank the audience. And we will go into the graphics compo next. Enjoy your stay here at the Assembly. I know I will. Thank you and good night.
Bye-bye. The thing